Hey everyone, so today I just finished reading The Inmate by Freida McFadden. I've been on a roll with her, definitely. She's been publishing books like crazy this year. Pretty ominous looking penitentiary over there with a creepy green light. Ooh, very enticing. So the book concerns a 28-year-old nurse practitioner who lives in Queens and moved to a small town in upstate New York that she grew up in. She is a nurse practitioner and she used to work in a clinic, but now she got a job at a penitentiary, a men's maximum security prison in upstate New York, where she now lives with her 10-year-old son, Josh. Josh was bullied in school, so that was sort of an impetus for her to move to another school system. She decided that small town life, even though it's her hometown and she doesn't want to run into anyone, she thinks that small town life will be good for her. So she takes up this job, and there's mean coworkers, harsh prison guards, a lot of abuse, a lot of men getting beat up in the prison and seeing her for help, and there's a lack of funding. She's not allowed to order new lidocaine, so she has to stitch people up without lidocaine. It's pretty gruesome. She also hopes that she never sees this one particular man named Shane, who actually tried to murder her in high school and was her boyfriend in high school and is actually the father of her son Josh. Josh does not know who the father is, and Shane does not know that he is the father of Josh. There is also another narrative weaving through the book, and it takes place when the main character is in high school, and she goes to a party in a secluded house with 5 or 6 of her friends, including her boyfriend Shane, and her childhood best friend Tim, and a bunch of other people. And one of the boys there at first, Brandon, gets killed, and then another girl gets killed, and then another boy gets killed, and people start to figure out that one of the people in amongst them in the party, one of their friends, is the murderer probably. And then Brooke ends up getting strangled with her necklace by some unknown figure. The power goes out in the middle of the night, so she can't see the face of whoever is strangling her, but she's pretty sure that it is Shane. But then later on in the book, she starts to wonder if maybe it was Tim. So there's that uncertainty that definitely adds tension throughout. So back in the present day, we know that Shane is an inmate of the prison, and after a month of working in the prison, she has to treat him for lacerations in the forehead. It seems that he's pretty disliked by both the other prisoners and also by this one prison guard named Hunt, Officer Hunt, who really despises him, makes sure that his life is hell. He has complete power over the inmate, which is Shane, and it is now Brooke's job to help him. So it is a very tense and awkward situation when they meet. Shane at this point does not know about the fact that Brooke is the mother of his son, and it's just a very tense situation, but they are polite to each other and eventually get along, and the main character starts to warm up to Shane again. And outside of work, she's living back in her hometown, and she makes the dumb decision of moving back to her hometown, even though she really is afraid of running into anyone she knows. But of course, that's what happens. She runs into people. And she runs into her high school best friend, Tim. Shane warned Brooke years ago about Tim, that he's very dangerous and violent. Alternately, Shane has warned Brooke about how dangerous Tim is. So the question throughout this book is, who do we trust? Who is correct in their warning? Both men are back in her life, in her adult life in this book, and we don't know who to trust or who to believe or who to trust around her son. I was not enraptured in this book like I am with other Freida McFadden books. The main character did have a naive innocence about her that I found endearing, but also frustrating because it left her vulnerable to the villain or multiple villains in this book. She ignored most warning signs until she was too late and she was in peril. And there's also a lot of plot holes about the legal system in this book, including how this woman did not get a background check at her job, and she didn't tell her potential employer that there's a conflict of interest with one of the inmates at that prison. The short chapters and the quick and sometimes funny dialogue did make this a fun and easy read, but the plot was decidedly lacking. I also did not really care much about the narrative of when she was back in high school about the house party that goes wrong. I'm just not really into reading about high schoolers anymore. I kind of want to, I don't know, I don't want to be reminded about being a teenager. It's not really a fun time. All those hormones and lack of freedom, it's just not a fun time. So I kind of dreaded these parts. Whenever I'd see the heading 11 years earlier, I go, okay, this again, you know. But in her typical fashion, she does change the whole game of the plot in the epilogue, where there's a big turnaround, which usually that's very shocking. But when an author does that for every single book she writes, you come to expect a huge twist in the epilogue, and it kind of ruins the fun. Like, I wish she changed the way she did her twists. It wasn't always just slapped on at the end of the last like 5 pages. It almost feels just like formulaic. And there was no real foreboding sense of heightened fear and drama, which is so integral to a thriller. You need to build up that suspense, build up that high stakes drama, and it's not really there. The plot sort of just like ambled on and fizzled. So overall, I actually gave this maybe 2.5 stars, maybe 2 stars. Easy to read, but it wasn't great. She definitely has written much better books than this, so I am kind of disappointed. Thankfully, I probably won't be reading other books by Freida McFadden for a while, just because I'm kind of sick of her, maybe. So I'll be moving onwards. I'll be back with her, though, later on, maybe in a few months. But yeah, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Bye.